Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Rachel and I'm Talking Dog Stitcher here on YouTube and over on Instagram as well. A very warm welcome to you if you're a new viewer. Thank you so much for joining me, and if you're a returning viewer, very warm welcome back. There are now over 2,000 subscribers, so I do have a giveaway at the end of this video. And following on from my last Flosstube, so today it's the 1st of April. It's Flosstube number 18, I think. And in Flosstube 17, I started the video with a list of UK Flosstubers. It's something I've been meaning to do for a while and I've always forgotten, so put it there in the beginning. And following that video, I had so many people comment and message saying, have you heard of this person, and don't forget these guys. And of course there were people that I'd forgotten who I do watch and I do love, and for whatever reason had forgotten to pop them on my list. So if you're one of those, my sincerest apologies. But there were also comments where I had never heard of the new Flosstubers or the more established ones or whatever. So my subscription list definitely grew from that last video. So thank you everybody that commented. There has obviously, completely separate to my video last time, been a bit of a conversation in UK Facebook groups and things like that about UK Flosstubers and recommendations and all that kind of thing. And Michelle of Mama Loves You GB mentioned on her last video, she gave me a lovely shout out, thank you so much Michelle, about having a comprehensive list of UK Flosstubers that we could refer back to, which is brilliant. So I'm going to pop a link to her video below. It's Mama Loves You GB, Flosstube number 149, I think, and she has a huge list in there. I sent her a message with a few that I'd mentioned in my last video that weren't on her list. She has said in the comments if there are any that you know of that aren't on the list, to send her a message on Instagram. So what I was going to do today was rectify my mistake and mention all of those fabulous ones that you commented on my last video and those ones that I had meant to mention but had forgotten. And I'm not going to do that today because Michelle has absolutely smashed it with that list. So head on over there if you're looking for UK Flosstubers. I'm making my way through the list and they're absolutely fab. So head over there. You are going to be so proud of me with my stitching for this time. So last time out I hadn't had a very good stitchy time. There hadn't been very many whips. For the second video in a row I have 2 finishes and only 1 new start. And I have a handful of whips to show you as well. One of Michelle Mama Loves You GB's patterns is in my whip pile as well, which I can't wait to show you. Let's just get into the stitching. I'm going to start with my starts. It's a planned start. This is the Snowflower Diaries Joyful World Sal. It is a freebie. I'll pop a link to the pattern in the description box below. And I started this last May, and I started May. And what I've been doing is in each month, starting the month that we're in, with the intention of then stitching the one that you know what I mean. So when we get back to May, I'll resume stitching on May. When we get back to July, I'll resume stitching on July. So I missed February because, like I say, wasn't having a great stitchy time. I will go back and start that at some point relatively soon, but I have just started March. So here it is. Just that stalk in the, I think it's a stalk, I don't really know my birds, in the middle there, stitched on 32 count vintage cream using the called for gentle art threads where they appear in the animals in the scene, and the colours that don't appear, or the title, the month. Where they don't appear in the animal or the title, then it's just the CXC conversions, which the DMC conversion is provided on the chart. So that is my start on that. I'm keeping all of my Joyful World Sal's projects inside this Canny Little Fox home case, which has the fabric for April and February for me to start, all of my previously started ones, the CXC, my scissors and the fancy flosses, etc, etc, all nice and neat in there. I think I'm going to sneeze. Pause please. Sorry about that. I should add that we're filming at 10 p.m. because it's been a very busy Easter weekend. My kids are obviously off school and nursery, so I wanted to get this filmed early in the month and definitely before the Floss Friends UK retreat in Rotherham at the end of the week. It's this weekend. I'm so excited. I've got some Stitchy friends. This is only the second proper retreat that I've ever been to, and this time round I know people that are going to be there. I've got some Stitchy friends. I kind of know what to expect, so I'm so excited. I'll be heading over on Friday and leaving on the Sunday. So if you're going, please drop me a comment. I'm horrible with names, I'm horrible with faces. Please come and say hi to me. I would absolutely love to talk to anybody that's going to be there. Anyway, finishes. So the two finishes that I've got to show you this time round are both from our Ink Circles round robin. In the last video I showed you I'd finished Jess's, and I also showed you Tan's before I'd started my stitching. I have now finished Tan's. It's going round in a lovely project bag made by Jess. She is just doing these for friends and as gifts, so she's not selling them, I'm afraid. But we have here Ink Circles Croakworth with my bit of stitching in it. So Tan, the monogamous cross stitcher, has done the centre motifs. Jess, cross stitch Jess, has done these two in the red, and I have done these two in the sort of grey and green colours. So I used Classic Colourworks, Deep Fennel and River Rocks for mine, and I think it looks fab. So this will now go to Rosie X Stitches, to do the final part, and then it'll be finished. And I have now also done the stitching on my final round robin piece for this round robin, which means I have finished the piece. So this is Rosie's project. Again, it's being kept in one of Jess's bags, and this is half the fun. I've wanted to stitch this for ages, and I finally got a chance to stitch on it. I got to finish it. Here it is. I'll fold it out actually. So this is being stitched in Royal Broidery C53 for all of the motifs, except for Rosie asked us to pick 3 or 4 motifs in our section that we wanted to do in a solid colour. So my section is down here in the bottom. So the motifs that I chose were the funicular, the aeroplane and the skateboard. So the funicular and the airplane are both modes of transportation that my husband and I used when we honeymooned in Budapest, and I chose the skateboard there in the green because I think it's just so well hidden. If you don't know it's there, if you're not looking for it, it's quite difficult to see. So I've had so much fun stitching on this. I cannot wait to get it to Rosie and see what she does with it. It's stitched on 16 count Ada by Fabric Flair in the colour Mushroom, and it looks brilliant. So I'm very happy with how that's turned out. I hope Rosie is as well, and I'll be passing that over to Tan at the Floss Friends retreat so that we can get that back to Rosie. Not so funny story is that this beautiful bag and its contents took a running jump out of the envelope that it was packed in, and thankfully was at my local sorting office, having become detached from my address. So yes, the envelope arrived empty and open. I panicked. I was sending messages going, what does it look like? Because I hadn't seen the bag yet. Jess was getting ready to go to her local post office and her local sorting office to see if it had fallen out early, but it hadn't. It had fallen out at the very last step of the trip, thankfully, and it was at my local sorting office, which, as it turns out, is only open for 2 hours a day. So I had to drop my children off at school, tell my boss I was going to be a little bit late in, run over to the sorting office before it closed, and, you know, describe the contents. And you know when someone gets a look on their face that's just like, I know what you're on about. The lovely postwoman that I spoke to got that look over her face, and I was like, oh, you have no idea how happy it's made me. The 3/4 finished project was there, I was able to get it, and I've now finished it. It's not going back in the post. We're doing a person-to-person handoff this weekend. That was a stressful few hours, I have to say. Okay, I'll move that. Now we are on to whips. I have a handful of whips to show you. I've had varying amounts of progress on each of them, but we'll get through them. First one is the Witchy Stitcher, Nightmare Before Coffee. I've done about 500 stitches on this, I think, since you last saw it. It lives in a gorgeous Turtle Bay Stitches Sugar Skull project bag. And this is where we're at. This is a 32 count linen from Coffee Craft Fabric. It's one of her older linens, and it has got quite a loose weave. It's not my favourite thing to stitch on. Her fabrics aren't like this anymore. They are, I think, much better. So most of the black inside the mug, and then started on the letters, which is what I've done the past few weeks. Next one I worked on, I was just, you know, casually scrolling Instagram when I received a notification that I had been tagged by Just So Sherry. And Sherry and I have been salling Nessie Mitchell 1929. And we'd kind of agreed that when we finished Nessie Mitchell, we would start Strawberry Fields Forever with each other. And I thought, it's all right. I haven't seen Sherry's for ages. I've got plenty of time. And then suddenly I get a notification on Instagram. She's finished it. She finished it. She tagged me in it and went, your turn, Rach. So of course I had to pick it up straight away. I haven't finished it, but I'm working on it. There is a reason that I haven't finished it, and I'm gonna go through that with you now. But that's the lovely Nessie Mitchell by Mama Loves You GB. I'm stitching it on a piece of, I think it's Fibre on a Whim. I think it's Cappuccino. I'll pop a note at the bottom of the screen if that's incorrect, but I think it's Cappuccino. So I am stitching this in Gentle Art, Deep Sea and Blue Jay. So Blue Jay is my initials, B, and then the R, and then also these vowels in the middle. So I'm all done with the Blue Jay. The Deep Sea, I started with this one in the corner, this dye lot. Quickly realised that I'd run out of that quite quickly. And then the dye lot later on is quite significantly different. You see it? And I don't mind it. The only thing is that it's very one dye lot here, another dye lot here, another dye lot down there, because I've not finished the alphabet. And I don't want to do that. So what I'd like to do is kind of new dye lot here, and then try and find something a little bit similar to this original dye lot, just to kind of blend it all in a little bit, to make it look more intentional, because it's not showing up great on camera just how different those dye lots are. So I'm going to pause on this for now until I can get sort of in person at an LNS to try and match that up. I have recharted the name on this. It's supposed to say obviously Nessie Mitchell 1929. I'm recharting it to Anselina Willoughby 1879 Wakefield, and that's my husband's great grandmother, who was an all-around wonderful woman. So yes, some progress, but now a pause until I can figure out that thread problem. Next up, I'll have to pop a picture on the screen of what this is going to look like when it's finished. This is the Lola Greenhouse of Oddities stitch along. It's long since completed, but I'm just kind of working my way on getting caught up and finishing up. My aim is to finish it this year. Since you last saw it, I've just been working in 310. Loads and loads more 310 has gone into that one. We're nearing 60% completion on this, which is all right. That's how far I've gone so far. That's being stitched on a piece of 32 count coffee craft fabric, even weave. And it's a sort of blue, green, yellow stitch. Okay, I have also, because not too long ago Rosie X Stitches posted her finish of this, thought I better get mine out. It's Pardon the Weeds from the Emma Congdon book, Cross Stitch for the Earth. I started this at my first retreat, Floss Friends, last June or July, can't remember. Being stitched on 18 count Milk and Honey by Fibre on a Whim. This pattern is no joke. There is so much back stitching and so much counting between, because obviously you do the back stitching last, so you need to do the cross stitches first, but you've got to do a load of counting to get to the next batch of cross stitches, that I'm gonna have to show you my back for this one. Just lots and lots of jumping around. So it's slow going, but we are getting somewhere. This top corner is getting much closer to being done. Bees have wings and everything. So we just keep plugging away at that one. This is stitched all in CXC. So is Greenhouse of Oddities, which I didn't mention. So is Nightmare Before Coffee. I'm keeping my Pardon the Bees in, you guessed it, Turtle Bay Stitches project bag. That lovely charm. If anyone is interested in where I get my CXCs, I have been told off for not mentioning this in my videos every time, but if you are interested, I actually sell CXC on my Etsy shop, which I will link down below. So basically what I'm saying is that I pinch it all from my stock, from my shop, which probably shouldn't do, but it's in the house. I can't, you know, it's there. That means I can start whatever I want because I have all of the colours. Okay, What else have I stitched? I am keeping this one in a project bag that I made myself. It's just a little sort of A5 padded pouch, which is very imperfect. It's a bit wonky because although it was absolutely perfect when it was inside out, when I turned it the right way around, it didn't quite fit. The fabric wasn't quite big enough, so it doesn't sit quite right. But we live and we learn, don't we? I'm not a sewist, so I'm pretty happy with my effort on that one. Anyway, this is Little Loops on the Beach. This is a kit that we got at the Floss Institute last year. And I've done loads on this one actually. This is also going for a finish. I'm not going to be stitching the border around the outside. It's just going to be the bits in the middle. It's on, I think it's 28 count even weave from Coffee Craft in this gorgeous bright sunshiny yellow. And I just have sort of on the, oh, you can see where I've got to go there. We're getting there, slowly, slowly. This has been being taken with me in the car. It's one of those that can be left in the hoop because everything's pretty much inside that space. And because it's a paper pattern, I can just leave it in the car, which obviously I can't do with my tablet. So, travel stitching at the moment. And then my final whip. For some reason I was feeling a bit festive. This is living in one of the ones that I made myself. This is one of my favourite 8x10 size project bags with Christmas trees in it. This is Sampler Santa. I'm stitching this all in CXC 3809 on a piece of 20 count Coffee Craft fabric Ada. This is where we're at. So I can't remember, I didn't look at my completion actually, bear with me. So I'm about 16% of the way through, which isn't too bad. This will keep coming out for a bit of monochromatic stitching. It's quite easy. It's just being stitched 1 over 1, just to pick up the colour and just go. That's it. That's all I've got to show you for stitching. So I have absolutely no haul other than my Black Needle Society box, which I did an unboxing video for, which I will pop if I can figure out how to do a little card where we go and go to the video. I'll do that. If not, I'll pop a link in the thing below. Black Needle Society Saturday morning stitching box, which is absolutely fantastic, and most of the things are pretty much in regular use already. So that's the only thing I've received Stitchy over the past few weeks, which is brilliant for my bank balance, but it's only because I'm going to a retreat this weekend and I've got lots of Stitchy spends planned there. So don't cheer for me too much. Okay, and the last thing to do is a giveaway. So 2,000 subscribers, thank you again so much for hitting that subscribe button and following along with just, you know, what I'm stitching. It's amazing to me that you're all here. I can't thank you enough. I've got a pattern and I've got a needle minder, and it will be open internationally. So this is Erica Michaels' Charlotte Mullinger, a reproduction and adaptation sampler. It has got a biblical passage in the middle there, which isn't to everyone's taste. It's not necessarily to my taste, but I do think it will be quite easily adapted. That's the original that it's adapted from there. So Charlotte Mullinger, aged 8 years. And if that's not your thing, it does also come with a little reproduction in the back there, which I think is what I would stitch if that's what I was going to do. But like I say, this is going to be given away, and also a gorgeous heart-shaped needle minder from Jess at Jess Gets Stitching. Which way around are we? That way. Like I say, it's open internationally. I would like you to say the word dwelling. DWELLING, which appears in the piece. So in order to win the Erica Michaels pattern and the Just Get Stitching needle minder, please use the word dwelling in your comment down below. Rules, please be 18 or over so that I can receive your address and get this sent out to you. Please be a subscriber. Please don't use any of the troll attraction keywords, giveaway, win, that kind of thing. And I think that's it. I promise every time that I do a giveaway that I'm going to get better and, you know, sleeker, and it never happens, but we're here, we're doing giveaways, that's all that matters, right? So pop your comments down below. I will draw the winner in my next Flosstube video. I hope for that to be in 2 weeks' time. It could be at the end of April. We'll see how we go, but enter sooner rather than later, and you could win. And all that's left for me to say is thank you so much for watching. I hope you have had a wonderful Easter long weekend with your families, and happy stitching. Bye.